All right, so what you're looking at right now is Dropship Lifestyle, and it's online. And while that shouldn't be anything special or any reason to be happy today, for me it is, and it's because for the past, I would say, week, we've been having issues with the website, right? Going online, offline, and I don't want to talk about that really, what's happening and what we're doing to get it working again, but it is stable right now, and within 24 hours it should be perfect. But the real thing that I wanted to talk about while mentioning this, and the thing I wanted to bring attention to, is this whole experience of working with the site and having it go down and dealing with customer service, okay? In Dropship Lifestyle, in the course, in the blueprint actually, there's so much information on customer service, right? And how you should approach customer service. And I talk about how it's so important, not only after you establish your business, but as you're pitching yourself to suppliers and as you're really like making a promise to them of why you should be able to represent your brand. And the experience that I've just been going through with the company that hosts our sites is basically a lesson in the exact opposite that you should do when dealing with your customers and when you're just managing customer service as a whole. So this is all in labs in our Facebook group. If you're part of that private Facebook group, you probably saw me talk about how people shouldn't use Site 5 for hosting. But I just wanted to mention that this company that we've been using for, I want to say, the past 2 or 3 years, they've been great historically, right? Because their customer service is so great. And this is why I wanted to share this message, right? The original reason we started hosting Dropship Lifestyle with this company called Site 5 is because it was recommended to me by a friend because of how good their customer service was, right? I asked the business community, basically my community of business owner friends, who is the most stable web host for a WordPress site? Who's the best? It won't go down. They'll respond when I have questions. And everyone said Site 5. It was highly recommended. I said, okay, great. I'm going to sign up with Site 5. Now, they've been great to me for years, but the site sold and changed hands. It sold to a huge company called EIG that buys like basically every hosting company out there. It's kind of scary actually. They own HostGator now, they own Bluehost, now they own Site 5, along with dozens of others, maybe even hundreds of others. But the thing is, when they buy companies, what I'm realizing now, because it's happened to me in the past with other hosts that I work through, is everything drops off from hosting reliability to customer service response time, and it just changes the entire experience. So I wanted you to kind of take this message into your own dropshipping business, because the reason that I signed up, remember, once again, the reason that I originally used this company, Site 5, is because people told me, yes, you want to use them. They're great. They'll answer your questions. They'll help you if you're stuck. They're there for you, right? They're reliable. They have great customer service. That's the reason I signed up for them. And with the hosting plan we're on, I'm pretty sure I've been paying them something around $300 a month, right? Because, we want a big plan. We have a lot of traffic. We want to maintain everything. So about $300 a month for years. Then all of a sudden, right, they get bought out for so much money, and then everything goes to crap. The site goes offline. Their live chat, you have to wait 30 minutes to talk to someone. You call in, you're on hold for 20 minutes. So everything changed. And because of that now, this company, Site 5, that got bought for so much money because of what they've done in the past, now has none of that. They're losing all credibility. They're losing all respect. Now, I'm obviously sharing this message with you, because if you want WordPress hosting, don't use Site 5. Like, they've lost all that. So literally customer service, which is what built Site 5. That's why they became so big. That's why they were actually able to be bought out, right? Because of how well they did with customer service. That is all gone now, and all that value that the company EIG saw in them, they've basically just evaporated, because they're showing that their customer service and their customer experience they give you is basically nowhere even close to on par of Site 5. So now they've lost the customer. So how does this relate to dropshipping, right? Into e-commerce? It's really to any business, okay? Again, in the blueprint, when I'm talking about how to serve your customers, how to treat your customers, how to basically present yourself to your suppliers, actually, like everything, right? It all represents your business as a whole, and by doing that, you're building that brand, you're building that authority, you're building that respect, specifically because we sell in niche markets, right? People talk, and obviously for some people this will apply more than others, but in your industry, people will recommend your site. People will remember that experience they have with you. And if you really want to build an asset that you could sell for a lot of money, like Site 5 did, then customer service is key to that, okay? And remember, Site 5 wouldn't have got to the point where they could have even been bought if they didn't have that customer service. And I see what this company EIG has done with Site 5, and plenty of other companies have done this when they buy e-commerce sites too. They buy a company that's running great, it's making a lot of money, and then all of a sudden profits dry up and sales dry up, and it's because of that customer service experience, okay? So that's kind of my rant for this episode episode of Dropship Weekly. I just really wanted to push that through, that even if you're just starting, even if you have no sales, no customers, no suppliers, customer service has to be your priority. And that doesn't mean that you personally have to become the best customer service person in the world, because I'll tell you, I learned the hard way that I'm not at all. I'm not good at it. I shouldn't be in that role. That's why I have this pulled up over here. It's a blog post that I wrote about outsourcing customer service, and I'll link that below this video so you can check it out, read through it. But if you can't do it, if you're not going to be the person that can give people a good experience, you have to outsource it sooner than later. I mentioned in this article, it's something that I held on to longer than I should have with my first e-commerce stores about 10 years ago, but everything improved once I actually put it in the hands of someone that enjoyed that experience of working with customers and solving problems and being in that exchange of back and forth communication loop with the customers. I mean, for example, like Site 5, they used to have those people. They would respond to a live chat in 2 minutes and fix a problem if there was one. Now, I'm on hold for 20 minutes on live chat, and then someone pops on and then can't help me and then wants to escalate my ticket to another support case, right? So just know, guys, once again, customer service, it's huge, not only for closing sales, not only for trying to make yourself sound good, but for the whole health of your business, your revenue, your profits, your eventual sale price if you want to sell it. So guys, that's the main message I want to get across in this week's episode of Dropship Weekly. With that being said, we did have some good questions, so let's switch screens. We'll get into the PowerPoint basically, and I'm going to answer your questions for this week's episode of Dropship Weekly. All right, so it looks like we're going to actually start off this episode with another rant. I promise you that's not the whole purpose of this show, but I did want to get this point across as well. We had a post in our private Facebook group this week from Chad, and Chad said, at what point would you consider pulling the plug from your niche? I've spent around $50 in PLAs, that's product listing ads, getting 10 to 15 visitors a day at the site for over a week, but no sales. Pretty soon, but he thinks if he hasn't got a sale, should he give up? His budget's $11 a day. Give some numbers on how much he's paying per click and not. But no, of course you shouldn't give up yet, okay? And I get it, this isn't meant to be mean to Chad or to anyone, watching this who might be in a similar situation or had similar thoughts. This is really just to explain to you this whole process, okay? Okay, let's just say he was selling microphone stands, right? And let's say he chose to sell them because he saw a whole bunch of other stores in different cities selling them. He knew who the suppliers were. He saw that they were busy. He knew that there were good companies out there making these things. So he said, okay, I'm going to open a microphone stand store in my hometown, in my city. And then Chad went out there and he found a lease and he bought a building, or he rented the building, and he got all the equipment in there, and he fully furnished the place, and he contacted his suppliers, and he ran an ad in a newspaper, and he had 10 to 15 people walk through the door for the first week. No one bought anything, and he thought, should I close the store? Okay, that's how I compare these things, because even though building an online business is so much easier when you build an e-commerce store, even though it's so much easier than building an offline store, you really have to think about it the same way, okay? And even though these are lifestyle businesses, and though these are assets that you can manage, in an hour or so a day, it doesn't mean that it's not going to take work, and it doesn't mean that the second you launch something, it's going to make you a bunch of money. Of course, we've had people start making sales in 1 or 2 weeks after starting to work with us, but honestly, for most people, if you have no business experience, you're going to have a learning curve, and that's fine, right? That's fine. I'd much rather have a learning curve than never advance or never start a business. So just know that I definitely get it might feel like, wow, I just spent $50, I didn't make any money yet, but the point of this whole thing, if you think of that end goal, if you think of why you're building this business, it's not so you could spend $50 and try to make some money back, And this, I almost feel weird saying this because I know it's hard for a lot of people to take in when they're literally starting with small budgets, which you should be. I'm not saying you should start big, but know that when this works and when you get your store to convert and when you really figure out PLAs and when the store is making money, $50 is going to seem like nothing, and you're going to want to spend as much money as you can. You're going to want to get to a point where if you could spend $10,000 a day on traffic, you're going to want to do that because it's making you money. And the way that these things work, just like anything, just like an offline business, just like an online business, it doesn't mean if you get 100 people, through the door and none of them buy, that the next 100 won't. Because when you're trying to think of conversion rates and how this all plays out long term, you need a bigger sample size. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying that if you keep doing what you're doing now and get 10 to 15 people to your site a day for the next year, you're going to all of a sudden make $1 million, right? That's not what I'm saying. But just know that with the small amount of traffic you had, it's nowhere near big enough of a sample size to make a determination of whether or not you should proceed. So what you really want to do, as far as a takeaway from this, I guess, what I would actually tell you to really focus on is with those people you are, targeting, those 10 to 15 people, definitely check your AdWords account, see where they're going, check your analytics account, see what pages they're hitting, install Lucky Orange, watch what they're doing when they're there, and use this data to make your store better. Just like if you opened, again, a store in your hometown, right? And you took out maybe a newspaper ad for 50 bucks. Some people came in, they didn't get you any sales. You wouldn't just be like, all right, well, let's just close this whole thing down and walk away from it. That's not how this works. Again, it's a lot simpler than building an offline business. It's a lot less of an investment, but you should have that same mentality that if you know other people are doing this, which you should if you follow the market research module, if you know other people are making money in this niche, then you can as well. There's no reason why you can't. Again, it doesn't mean it's going to happen today. It doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow, but use the knowledge that you gain from getting traffic from today and tomorrow and make your store better just continuously, right? This is an ongoing process. We always talk about conversion optimization as an ongoing thing. And again, when you look back at this, maybe 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, that first $50 in ad spend, you're going to realize is like the smallest sliver of this whole business. Okay, that's not the business. It's not to spend 50 bucks to make, a couple hundred to be like, okay, cool, I have a business. The goal is so you can build something where you could just dump money into it because it's giving you so much more back out. So I hope that clarifies a little bit. And again, it's just meant to help, it's the whole mentality thing. So if you have any more specific questions, definitely let me know. I'm more than happy to dive deeper into the whole process. But again, if you go through the market research module in Dropship Lifestyle, and you should know that this niche is already good. So then it's just a matter of optimization, getting the right suppliers, and monitoring what people do when they visit your site. Just like if you had an offline store, people come in, what are they doing? What are they looking at? How can you help them? How can you serve them better? That's the business. So I do hope that helps and you can get a takeaway from that. Next post this week I wanted to share is from Genesis, and she said, hey DSLers, I'm looking into possibly attending trade shows this year. Any tips on this topic would be greatly appreciated. First of all, it's an amazing idea. Highly recommend it. I know you're talking about, industry trade shows. So just so everyone clarifies, she's not talking about, business trade shows, but rather industry trade shows. So again, if you were selling, microphone or headphone stands, these are not microphone stand, headphone stands, you would go to, a headphone or electronic trade show and try to network and meet suppliers. I've mentioned this in different videos. It's in the course as well. My tips for you is that you're probably going to find that there's a bunch of different industry events. I'll link to the trade show directory that we use below this video. It's not my directory or anything, but it's one that we use to find industry events. And what you're going to find is that there's probably a whole bunch of them. My advice is just to go to the biggest. And the way that you could actually find out who the biggest are by seeing how many vendors or exhibitors go to each one. So that's usually what we like to do. Go to the ones where you'd have the most people, the most possibilities of, making new contacts. My tips for the trade shows, and I've mentioned this before, so if I'm repeating myself, sorry, but it's for a reason. You should do this. My tips are bring a good camera. If you have a good phone, that's fine enough. And go to your vendors that you're already selling for and take photos of the products. When you take these photos, they're going to be yours. They're going to be your original photos now. Put them on your website so you can differentiate yourself a little bit. I would watermark them. So literally, you know what a watermark is, but I'd watermark the photos to make sure they're your own. No one could steal them. We do this on our own sites. It works great. Try to talk to the sales reps. Try to get any insider information you can. Again, for the companies you're already selling for, what products sell the best? What products do they have coming out? What products can they give discounts on? Really just trying to build a more solid relationship. And all those things, besides the photos, you can do over the phone, but it's a lot easier to do in person. People are a lot more open at these kind of trade shows and industry events, and you can get some really good, what I would call insider information. My other tip is all the companies that you're going to see there, all the businesses that you don't sell for, it may be because they denied you when you tried to get approved online, or it may be because you never heard of them. You definitely want to get as many business cards as you can. And this is the way I do it, simply because there's just, and it depends on, I guess, your industry, but I've been to events, where there's literally 500, 1,000 different exhibitors. So there's no way to actually have a conversation with everyone like, oh yeah, this is who I am. This is my company. I want to sell your products. It would take too much time. So what I try to do is go through these trade shows. I look for products that I think would fit well on my sites. One, because of the quality of the product. Two, because of the niche, obviously. Three, because of the price points. If everything looks good, then I'll take their card and I'll make a note in my notebook that I like this company because X, Y, and Z.
Jersey. This is the person that I spoke to, follow up with them. And then after the trade show is when I do my networking with those companies, right? With the ones that I want to sell for, but I don't sell for yet. So it's more of like an intimate type networking with the companies you already sell for who are exhibiting, and the rest of them you're just trying to find opportunities that you might not have seen online. And again, not trying to make deals with them at the event, at least not the way I do it, but doing it after the fact. And so great question, and I do hope that helps. And for anyone wondering, I highly recommend going to these events. It's pretty cool. Ernest posted this photo, I guess, yesterday, and he went to a industry trade show down in Florida, and it was cool because there was like 3 or 4 other people from Dropship Lifestyle that were there, networking, getting new suppliers, finding new industries. So really cool stuff. So I hope everyone had a good time. And if any of you guys have good tips, if you learned anything that maybe helped you get new suppliers or get the most value out of the trade show, that would be awesome. If you can comment, below this video in Labs and maybe share some advice that might help people from your recent experience. Next, I just wanted to welcome Dean to Dropship Lifestyle. He said he's from Australia. Really excited for this journey. I think that's awesome. And I just wanted to let Dean and all of our other Australian members know that while we have obviously Labs and there's plenty of Australian conversations in there, we also do have a private Facebook group though for our Australian students. So anything specific to that, you should definitely get in there. You could see it linked in our Dropship Labs Facebook group. So another great place for you to connect with people. I also wanted to let Dean and all of our other Australian members know that there's a meetup on April 8th. And this meetup is going to be in Sydney. 1 p.m. Saturday, April 8th. You see it on the screen. You should definitely attend this. This you could find if you go into our Facebook group, then look on the right column. You'll see a list of events. Definitely go to this because I see that we just had a meetup in Australia hosted by David. Check this out from January 7th. How cool is this? This was in Sydney. And I mean, this is amazing, this kind of attendance. Everyone said they had a great time. So, thank you, David, for hosting this, and everyone that went. Like, you guys are awesome. I love it. So really cool, guys. Now we really do have meetups all around the world. Definitely, I'm going to go back to this so you guys know if you're in Australia, it's Sydney, April 8th at 1 p.m. Click on that, get registered, and go to it. John Warren, it says, who's the guy in the hustle shirt right there on the left. He's going to be giving a talk. Really great guy, tons of information. He's one of the Dropship Lifestyle coaches, so highly recommend going there. Next, I wanted to call attention to this post, and it's from Banu, and he said, talking about abandoned carts, right? So Ernest gave him a tip just to follow up with people that don't complete their checkout. Super important stuff. If you guys want to know more about abandoned carts and everything too, go back to module 5 of the Dropship Blueprint. That's where I give all of our information about how we do abandoned cart sequence follow-ups. But boom, he called this guy that didn't finish the checkout, closed the $7,800 sale, made him $1,200 net profit. So yeah, all he did was pick up the phone, follow up with this person, close the deal. Remember the beginning of this episode, I'm talking about customer service. That's just not about helping people when there's a problem. It's also about being proactive and just showing that you actually care about your business, right? So congratulations to Banu, great job, and that's an awesome profit. So yeah, nice work. Next, I just wanted to share this one thing. This has been brought up to me a couple times, and I didn't really see a need for it until now. So I want you to comment on this video and let me know if you think there's a need or you would benefit from this as well. But Gabriel asked this question. He said he wanted to know if there was some kind of certification that people get when they finish Dropship Lifestyle, our coaching program. And he was saying something we could show off on our resume or on LinkedIn. And, people have kind of asked this before, and I was like, I don't know, I could put together a quiz or a test, but I didn't do it because if I do it, I want to do it right. I want to build a real, something that really shows you definitely understand this stuff the way that it's meant to be understood, and then give out a certification. And the real reason that I think we're going to do it now is because someone else posted, and they actually they sent us a Facebook message, and they said they work for a huge company, and their company was willing to pay for the course for them if we give them a certification at the end, showing that they actually went through it and learned everything. So it's whoa, I didn't even realize companies do that, but that's awesome because I know we have a lot of people who want to learn this stuff, and if your company is going to pay for it, why not, right? It's a win-win. So if you guys think that's a good idea, if you would like to be part of this, maybe go through a test group, please comment below this video so I can get you into the first version of people that do get certified as going through all of our training successfully and, making sure you guys learn everything from it. Just let me know. It'll be all online, not an in-person thing. At least I don't think so. But let me know if you're interested, and I'll definitely be in touch and add you to the test group for the first group of people to be certified. Last thing, guys, I wanted to call attention to this post from John. He's selling a store, and, it could be a great opportunity for someone. So he didn't list the price that he's selling it for. He's in our Facebook group, obviously. You can just message him there, start a conversation. Basically, he has a dropship store that he built in the States. I don't know if he lives in the States now or he's doing it from abroad. But basically, John's saying the opportunity for this store is that he's really bad with PLAs, and he's not good for speaking English, so customers think it's not a legitimate business when he answers the phone. So he's looking to sell it. He's got 6 suppliers, 2 gold suppliers, 1,500 products uploaded. He's already updated the 50 best products and optimized the descriptions, the title, the review, give a free gift. He's got like 8,500 in sales so far. So he's doing social, right? So it seems like for the person, if you see this and maybe you already own stores, you're doing good with your PLAs, you have customer service nailed down, it might be a good store to add to your your arsenal, to your portfolio. So if you're interested, reach out to John in the Facebook group. You could find him there. And with that being said, guys, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Dropship Weekly. Hope I didn't seem like I was complaining too much, but I had some stuff I wanted to just like share with you. It's stuff that I'm dealing with right now that I know makes me realize that that this stuff's important, that customer service is so important. So I hope it helps you really realize the same and put an extra effort on that, even if you're already doing great with it. For everyone that's not part of Dropship Lifestyle, I want to let you guys know, as always, go to dropshiplifestyle.com/mini course and you can get our free 10-day training. Great way for really to get started, I would say. It's not like our main course or anything, but it'll let you know if this is something that you want to do or not. It'll give you clarity on how we do dropshipping here in our business and at Dropship Lifestyle. So if you're interested, go and do that. That being said, guys, if you got value out of this video, as always, please do give it a thumbs up or a like or a share. And yeah, that's it, guys. I will see you next week for the next episode of Dropship Weekly. I'm still having fun doing the show. I hope you guys are still enjoying it. And if you are, definitely let me know, because then I'll determine kind of which route we're going to take this. So that being said, guys, have a great week, and I will see you next week for Dropship Weekly. Thank you.